Ooh, welcome back everybody. This time we're gonna get through Bubblegloop Swamp. So to start us out, you want to shoot an egg right into this gator. Crocodile? I don't know. And then let's grab these boots and get that Mumbo token back there. Oop. Camera. Whenever you have these boots on, you can hit X when you're not moving to take them off. Or you can just wait for them to run out naturally. But let's go across and get these notes. And then hover over here. And back. Then we'll come this way for these. Don't worry about that switch just yet. Just come this way. You can either kill these two frogs or ignore them. Either way, we want to grab these boots. And use them to get the notes behind this giant egg. Get up here, and we're going to break this egg many, many times. First, by jumping on top, you can get this extra life if you'd like. Ground pound it, and then rat-a-tat-rap. And then you can just high jump and ground pound again. And then you can either rat-a-tat or beak barge. Then you don't even need to high jump, you can just regular jump. And we get our first jiggy. Then we're going to use this leaf to go back, but we're going to stop at this pole here. To get a Mumbo token, and then we can float to the other side. And then now we'll hit this switch. Remember, this swamp is full of piranhas, so make sure you don't jump in the water. When we do this, we gotta be fast. So I suggest, or you need to do the Talon Trot to get up this first hill, but I suggest keeping it and using it to, as quickly as possible. Don't worry if you don't get all the notes. Just focus on not falling off. You'll most likely get all the notes anyway. Don't worry about any of these sidebars. This green Jinjo over there, the crocodile we passed. When you're here, you can just float over. With the second Jiggy in hand, you can go back and get all the stuff we just ran past, including any notes you missed. This green Jinjo. This Mumbo token. And then we need to fire an egg into this crocodile. Continue back towards the switch. And then we're going to jump on this leaf, and when you land on the next platform, you'll have a large fight on your hands. So, you can either use the rat-a-tat-rap on all of them, but they take 2 each, or you can run and chase them down with the gold feathers to end it quickly. Then we're going to head straight back to the jump pad area. Don't worry about any of these items in the swamp just yet. We're gonna jump up and smash this hut. That will release another jump pad, which we can use to get up to this hut. And we can rinse and repeat. Even though you don't need to smash this hut to get to the next one, you do need to smash it for some notes and the witch switch. This is the hut you need to smash to proceed. And now the Jiggy is to our left here, but before that we're going to go right and we're going to try to hit that Mumbo token you might have seen. And we jumped right over it. Either way, shoot an egg into that crocodile. And let's try to get that Mumbo token again. So with that in hand, we can climb up here and get the next Jiggy. With that done, jump on back, try to be careful. And we're gonna go right. Grab these notes. Grab the notes on top of this giant gator. I jump up here and grab the boots to make it to the next area. Pick them off. And fire. You can tell it gets harder. There we go. Climb on top of these poles. This one has eggs, that one has gold feathers, but most importantly, this has notes that we need to get. And the one in the far back there you can see has a Jinjo. So go ahead and take the time to get that. Don't worry about the notes behind the Jinjo just yet. And we're gonna go all the way back to the gator and then all the way back to the giant gold frog arena. Go past the golden frog place towards the giant turtle. And he'll mention that his feet hurt. So what we need to do is get the notes on his feet and ground pound each and every one of them. And while you're back here, go ahead and fly over here. Kill that dragonfly if you feel you need to. And shoot an egg into this the minute about halfway after he closes his mouth. And we'll get the next Jiggy. Float on back. Continue smashing feet. That noise disturbs me. Grab the Jiggy. Activate Talon Trot so that you can climb up the top of his shell for more galoshes, which will enable you to get the orange Jinjo. And then we're gonna enter Tank Top's mouth. In here, we're gonna come around the edge to get some notes, and then come around the other side to get 3 more. And then come to the other end to talk to this turtle. And now we have a game of Simon Says. I like to try to memorize a pattern more than like colors. For example, I envision a line being drawn from one turtle to the other to help me remember which one's to ground pound. So it goes middle, and then it comes back to the side, and then across to red, and then makes a triangle with the middle, and then back to purple. This pattern is randomized, so yours will be different than mine. But you got 3 rounds of this to get a jiggy. So we started over here, or no, started over here. Haha. And then we went to the middle. Then I think we went to the sky blue. And then we make a straight line diagonally. And then we come back to the middle. And then the red. Collect your prize. Jump up on the podium. Oop. And then you can high jump to get extra honeycomb. And then get the Mumbo token behind him. And mosey on out. And now we're gonna go back to the giant gator. And now we're gonna go up this ramp on his left. Or on your left, I guess it's his right. Up to a swamp maze, which uses these galoshes. I say maze, but it's one direction. Just make sure you get these notes that are in these little corners. And there will be several galoshes checkpoints. Just keep following the linear path. Until you reach this switch. You've got galoshes to continue through this quote-unquote maze, but before we do that, we're going to hit this switch, which is going to turn on a jiggy at the end of this very thin path. So we're going to want to move slowly. But you only get 10 seconds, I think. It's not long. Yep. So this is where using the right bumpers to center the camera can really help. Just hold down one of the bumpers to get the camera behind you. And then slowly walk back. Let's get these galoshes and continue walking. Don't miss that note right there. You can get this gold feather if you want, but make sure you get the Mumbo token behind the hut. In the very far corner. And before we activate his new transformation, jump up to the one pillar without fire. And in the middle, we can glide to get the second extra honeycomb. There we go. And then we'll turn into our very own gator. He'll give some quip, but go ahead and leave. And there's a small hole that we can sneak under. Now that we're tiny, let's drop down, and the piranhas don't attack us anymore. Which means we can go to where the Jinjo was, the blue one, and get these notes. Now we're going to come back to the gator. And we can enter him via his nostrils, which you can only be small enough to get into if you're a gator. But there's 3 notes in each nostril, so no matter which one you enter through, make sure you go down the other one to get the other 3. And then jump in the middle for the Mumbo token. And now for the first frustrating Jiggy, where we have to do a mini game with Mr. Vile. Just walk straight up to him. Or press A. And you have to eat more red yumblies than him. And you press X to eat. So just run around, trying to get as many as you can. A good strategy is honestly to just mash the X button as you're walking around. If you can cut them off, even better. Like that. Sometimes you can get ahead of him and steal from him. Nope, just that one. But got one from in front of him there. And if you can happen to get 30, like I just did at the very last second, you get an achievement. That's going to be one of the achievements I was going to bring up. In that if you don't get it here, naturally you'll have to go back to get it. But now you've got round 2, where you want to eat the red yumblies and ignore the yellows. Yes. Just try your best to stay focused, constantly be moving. Don't ever let your guard down, because he can catch up real quick. And then you get round 3, where it'll show between red yumblies and yellow grumblies, I think they're called, or whatever. And you can only eat what's on screen. And it switches every 5 seconds or so, so be ready Because if you're mid-animation of chewing and it switches, you'll start coughing. Because it will think you ate the wrong thing. So sometimes it's better than chasing down a red Yumbly to just wait for it to change. Sometimes there's none at all. If you did not get it 3 for 3, just keep trying, and eventually you'll get lucky enough to get the Jiggy. Do not accept his new game because it is impossible to beat it until you have access to those shoes you see walking behind us in the back there. But if you also did not get the achievement for getting 30 red Yumblies, then once we have access to those shoes, you can come back here and keep trying to get that achievement. But with that done, let's exit and pick up the remaining collectibles in Bubblegloop Swamp, which are all in the area with the jump pads and the huts. You are now small enough to fit under these little areas so that you can get these notes. You can get these 2 Mumbo tokens. You can get those gold feathers and red feathers if you want, but definitely get this Jinjo for the last Jiggy. And come over here for the last notes. You can get another extra life back here as well. Once you get everything done, we need to leave Bubblegloop Swamp as the gator. And yes, I know it's technically a crocodile, I think. I don't know why I was about to walk on the bridge. I don't need to. Exit out of the swamp and go back down that tunnel we were at earlier. And now we are small enough to go through this hole. And once we do, we find our very first Cheeto. There are 3 Cheetos in the game, and each will give you a cheat code to type into the sand castle that will double the capacity of one of your resources. In this case, you get the cheat code of blue eggs. And it is not enough to just look up the cheat code and type them into the sandcastle without finding the Cheeto, because the code does not even activate until you find them. Although that might have changed once this got released on Xbox, so I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and type it in. Either way, there's an achievement for finding all the Cheetos, so you have to do that instead of just typing in the codes anyway. Let's backtrack all the way to Treasure Trove Cove. Make a beeline to the ship, and then turn right to get on top of the boxes. Drop down right at this corner to find Leaky again. And poop 2 eggs in there. Kill the crab again. And let's type in blue eggs. They will light up in yellow. If this does not happen, then try to go back and talk to Cheeto again. But there's blue, and then you can type the same letter twice. You don't have to find different ones. And not only does it double our capacity for eggs, but it also fills it up. And now we're gonna leave here. Go all the way back to the room with the giant Gruntilda statue. And cut right to climb up these platforms. Jump up here, and the next note door will be right here. Come on up. And what we want to do is break this wall. That'll let us get some galoshes that'll be helpful in a minute. Break that wall. Which gets us to a switch. The new Gruntilda minion takes twice as many hits to kill, so he takes 2. Then we're gonna use this jump pad to jump into this vase. Which leads to the Jiggy that was opened up by the Bubblegloop Swamp Witch Switch. So with that, come back to these platforms. Backtrack all the way to the vase. You can get a Mumbo token behind this sarcophagus. And then I want to jump up this ladder, or stair, excuse me. Let's go and kill these guys. Pro tip, the Rat-a-tat-rap does twice as much damage as a forward roll. And you can use eggs to break webs, so we're going to do that on this one. It takes a total of 3. We'll need that broken for later, so go ahead and do it now. Break this. And activate our first cauldron pair. So now we can warp from the room before Treasure Trove Cove to here. We can also go ahead and head up here. Go past that note door you can't open yet to find another spider web. Which activates a new cauldron. And then from here, we want to glide on top of the hat of this giant Gruntilda head. Because up here we find another Brintilda. After this Brintilda, we're gonna drop straight back down and open up that note door. In this area, we can come to the side here to find the next painting. So now technically we have access to two worlds, Freeze Easy Peak and Gobi's Valley. We're gonna go into Gobi's Valley to get an ability and then immediately leave and go to Freeze Easy Peak. So come back here, go back through the door across from the Gruntilda head. Grab the galoshes that we freed earlier. And then come up these stairs, the ones we've skipped so far. And the galoshes will let us go across the sand, the quicksand, which is full of bear-eating worms. Before we go in Gobi's Valley, however, come around to the back for another Brintilda. After that, we can go into the world. Come in here, and I'm going to ignore everything, like these notes, because I like to get them all in one fell swoop. Ignore the mummy hand. We're gonna come straight up this hill, straight up this one. Keep talon trotting, otherwise you'll slip and fall. And we're gonna go behind this pyramid and behind this tree. And here's the one and only ability in Gobi's Valley. And we've unlocked those running shoes. So if you did not get the 30 Grumblies, you can go back to Mr. Vile if you so choose. Or you can do them anytime. Of course, if you're not trying to get all the achievements, you don't have to worry about that at all. But with that ability, we're gonna leave and go to Freeze Easy Peak. And again, if you are playing this on original Nintendo 64, then don't bother getting anything. Because the notes always reset when you leave the room, unless you get all 100. So there's no point in just getting some of the notes. Now that got changed when it got ported to Xbox. So, let's go back to the room with the giant Gruntilda head. And now we're gonna cut right into the snowy tunnel. and we will enter Freeze Easy Peak. However, we will do this next time. So until then, stay safe.